one of us on earth have had such a difficult year. And so, let's try to drive that, towards good stuff, positive energy, putting out some good things in the universe so so good things can come back. You have joined the Drive at Five Straight Talk Show, Wellness Wednesdays, and we are talking about wellness stuff because we're talking about how you stay healthy, how you take care of yourself. And like I said, if you can't say anything good about somebody, then just hush. Okay. So thank you so much, Ms. Derry Dakers Lee, the director and chairperson of the Miss Cayman Islands Universe Committee, as well as Miss Cayman Islands herself, Miss Mariah Tibbetts. So, ladies, let's jump right in. So, Mariah is Miss Cayman Islands Universe. But, yeah, right? So we can all just cheer about that, because I think a year before were in the pageant because I was there, right? Because Caitlin was giving up her crown at that time. And, love Khadijah Root. I was rooting for so many people that night. I was so torn. I was like, Mariah, my girl now, and you were first runner up. And so somehow COVID came around and changed all of our lives, shook us up. And then, Derry, tell us how that all happened.
I know, and that just goes to show that in life, the most unexpected things can happen, and you can never really plan, because sometimes when we plan for certain things, it never really turns out that way. And so, yes, basically we were faced with COVID, and it just sort of sidetracked us there for a bit, and trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to move forward here now? Are we going to have a queen that will reign for like another 2 years, or what? And so actually, the Miss Universe organization reached out to us and gave us an option to either crown our first runner up, or we could have a pageant, if we wanted to. But then, of course, in this environment, we have to be considerate of our sponsors as well. And it is going to be, we're facing some pretty tough economic times, and so forth. And a lot of people will not be focusing on pageants. And so we decided then amongst us to, let's crown our first runner up and have a crowning, and make, we'll come across like a pageant. I think it went really well. Mariah accepted, which we're very, very happy. We're so happy to have her as our Miss Cayman Islands Universe 2020. She's doing an outstanding job. And
For us, you kind of representing out there. So that was kind of a double duty for you then to say, okay, another year. Now, Mariah, how did you feel about all of that? And in getting that crown at that point, do you think like it was time? Like you were ready for it then?
The only word I can use to describe it is just it. So after I became first runner up in 2019, after the pageant, I accepted it. I supported Khadijah as much as I could. And like you said, I was doing my first runner up duties. And it's funny, actually, multiple people started to ask me, hey, why don't you enter again? Would you enter in the next pageant? You should try again. And I kind of said, I'm going to take my life in a different direction. I have other plans, other goals.
I'm not trying to be no Miss Cayman Islands Universe. I'm done with that.
So it was kind of in the back of my mind. And then when this opportunity came, I didn't even think about it. I just automatically said, of course I'll do it. Of course, I would love to do it. So like you just said, what is for you is for you. Yeah. And I just feel like it was a sign from God, from the universe, everything, and exactly what you said, that I was ready at that point. Yeah. So maybe in 2019, if this had happened, I wouldn't have done much. My reign would have been cut short. I was going to, at least I've been trying to, and I'm planning to continue to make the most of it, just enjoy it as much as I can. Because
right, absolutely. You think you're done with it, and then it comes in front of you and you're like, okay, what do I do? Right? It's for you. You can't walk
Absolutely.
away. And so I think that year, because when I sat in the audience that year, remember, stand out, no-brainer, because you had capable
Absolutely.
of stepping
More than
into that
capable. And she
into that
does
role.
encompass all the qualities that we do look for in a Miss Kim and Allen's universe.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mariah, I know how Mariah was raised. That kind of thing. Like that's big. Because I'm big peers with her.
Yeah,
That's like
absolutely. So she comes.
way. And so, in talking about that now, Miss Derry Lee, Derry Dakers Lee. Okay, so you got this great first runner-up who could just step into this role. It was seamless. She's amazing. She was ready. And so here we go. We're sorting out. We're just coming out of COVID, kind of the lockdown COVID, and we're dealing with that. And then here comes something at your feet that you're not expecting. Let's talk about that. I saw it in the news, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Are you referring to that scandalous video?
Well, it's something. It was like Miss Cayman and
Yeah.
Army Hammer and all kinds of. What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, that, first of all, I guess it's important for everyone to know that our role as Miss Kim and Allen's Universe Committee is to ensure that, these young ladies, are become role models in the community, and that way we empower them to be the best version of themselves. And so, in saying that, when you actually, when someone makes reference to Miss Cayman,
Right.
with, when it comes to nudity or anything that's degrading, it affects us, and our title holder as well, because clearly that's not what we represent. And so, when the video started circulating, of course, I received a lot of calls. So did Mariah and her family. There were a lot of really harsh and mean comments on social media directed towards, well, us as the committee, and Mariah as our title holder as well. And there were some people that felt that they knew who it was as well, and that it was not Mariah. So it's a combination of things.
Right.
And it did impact all of us greatly, immensely, actually.
Yeah.
And it went viral. I received a call from People's Magazine, from US Weekly. It was featured in the Inside out there, that you know basically, she's a beautiful person inside out, lady of integrity. And um and so, I guess social media has become that platform for people to sort of reflect their negativity. And some people may know the facts, some people may not know the facts, and they don't care to know the facts either way.
Right.
They're just gonna put it out there, just to, I guess, start stirring what happened.
Right.
Basically, it was, something that impacted Mariah as well, and
Yeah.
I guess I'll let her speak to her experience. But basically, to know that our organization, just aim to, mold role models like your daughter, Caitlin,
Right.
that
Thank
was
you.
Miss Kim Allen's Universe in 2018.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And I think that is the point, right? Regardless of who it was in the
Mhm.
video, there are certain standards
Yes.
that you all expect, the
Yes.
expectations. Because I was in on the meetings with Caitlin, so I
Mhm.
know that Miss Kim and Allen's Universe is very strict about certain things. And so if you go against that, then obviously you're making a sound decision that you're going against what's expected of you. And so the results of that would be of your own kind of doing.
Mhm.
So that is the biggest issue
Mhm.
when it comes to it not being Mariah, because here's what you're supposed to be doing, and this would fall outside of that. You know what I mean? Like, and because I'm
Absolutely.
very careful to allow a consenting adult to do what they want. That like that's their life. You're not hurting anybody. That's your life. And so, I think so many things in that whole scandal bothered me from that standpoint. But as far as Miss Cayman Islands is concerned, this is not or
What
Miss
we
Cayman Islands
represent,
universe.
as I said earlier,
Exactly.
you know, I mean, yes, as
Exactly.
you said, people do live their own lives and they do what they want to do behind the closed doors. But this is certainly not, you know, something that we represent, and that's not the message that we're trying to send out there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Mariah, here you are floating on, you know, you got this crown. It took a while. Didn't know you were going to be in the seat. You got in the seat and going along, doing your thing, representing it, looking amazing, being amazing. And then this happens. What was that about for you?
Just like we just talked about, as unexpected as the crown and the title came,
Here
this
comes
came
again,
just as
yeah.
unexpected for sure. Because, you know, like we were just talking about foundation, I've worked hard my whole life to set a standard for myself, to represent myself a certain way, long before pageantry was even involved, before Miss Cayman was in my life.
Right.
So for this to come out and falsely be linked to me it was hurtful. You know, you work so hard for something your whole life, and then people who don't even know you come and run with it, try and tear you down, try and degrade you. So I'm glad that it's cleared up that it was not me. But as Ms. Derry alluded to, once it's on social media,
right,
whoever's hands it gets into, they just run with it. And that's the main problem, right? Because I do want to say thank you to my Cayman community. Majority of people in Cayman either knew it wasn't me, or they came and reached out to me, offered support, incredibly thankful for that. And in that same note, Cayman might feel like it's old news at this point. They might say, why are we still talking about this? We know it's not Mariah, the committee made a statement, etc. But as Ms. Derry said as well, it's reached US news, it's reached international news.
Right.
People are getting calls, the committee's getting calls, it's online everywhere, right? So although Cayman may feel like it's cleared up, people who don't know me, who've never seen me in person, they just see a headline, and then they search me on social media, find me on social media, and decide to take it upon themselves to comment something, message something that they know nothing about. People might not even take the time to read the whole story. They just read a headline and that's it. So I, before this, had never personally experienced cyberbullying. And since this situation has come about, I did experience cyberbullying, and it was very shocking. It opened my eyes to a lot of the effects that it can cause in everyone, not just young people. I mean, males, females, old, young, everyone can be affected by this and probably is affected by it.
Right.
And social media is a great tool, but it opens us up to these kinds of things, right?
Absolutely.
So now, because I've experienced that, and I've had a great support network, like I said, a lot of people were reaching out to me. The committee was obviously there for me every step of the way. My family, my friends are great support. So I was able to lean on them and gain strength from that as well. But when you think about the people who don't have a support system, right? You think about these teenagers who are just trying to grow up, they're trying to figure themselves out. And people on the internet are just berating them every second, right? So that really sparked something in me to add to my platform as Miss Cayman Islands Universe to fight against cyberbullying. So my main platform, my first platform, is cancer awareness. I'm working with the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, but now I'm adding cyberbullying to it as well. And there are many reputable, amazing organizations in the Cayman Islands already who deal with cyberbullying, who fight cyberbullying. And I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to try and work with them, get some stuff going. But it's horrible. And
it's devastating.
It just kind of brings it home, we read about it, we hear about it, but now it just falls in your lap unexpectedly. And you're forced to deal with it, And I just want to put a
positive
spin on it. Absolutely. We're trying to put a positive spin on the whole negativity. Obviously, that whole, the video, it was very negative, in light of, Miss Cayman, like I said, and what we represent, but just putting a positive spin, and having her now, Mariah just actually choose cyberbullying as one of her platforms and just kind of bring awareness to it,
Yeah.
And
no, I mean it is. I mean, I was a victim of cyberbullying and during the campaign in 2017. It was horrible. It's a horrible experience. And you're absolutely right. And you feel like at that moment you feel like every single person is against you, and sometimes it's not every single person. It might be a small number, but because it like that small number is almost trying to destroy you,
it's magnified
it's
in your mind, in our minds.
It's so mean.
Yeah.
It is so insane, and so it's very serious. And like you said, you're dealing with young people that they're so impressionable, and they're wanting to be accepted, they want to be liked, they want to be okay, and things like that are happening in the dark. Anything can happen to that person. That person can commit suicide. That person can be experiencing depression. It's insane. It's insane. So
these are the effects. And we even had just to go a little further as to why we've taken it so serious as well, is that we're grooming her for Miss Universe, and all eyes are on all these title holders across the world. And so I've had other directors reach out to me across the world. I've had the Miss Universe organization reach out to me. Is this your title holder? So it's so important that we clear the air and just kind of let everybody know that at this point they also wanted to know, well, who it was. We don't know who it was.
Came on now.
And that's
I think I know who that. Like, come out of people's business. That's the first thing. First thing, come out of people's business. Second thing is recognize how inappropriate and immature it was for whoever it was to have leaked the video. And so if the video came from a grown man who has a family, do you know what I mean? Like let's not forget the whole point of this, because I think what happens in our Caymanian society, which is very sad, is we tend to just look at a woman in a situation, and we excuse men, as we can see is happening right now, and some major news where we just excusing men. Or if somebody apologizes, let's just forget it. No, I'm sorry. Just like you said earlier, Mariah, people should or might be thinking, why am I still talking about it? Why am I still talking about it? Because it was a devastating thing in my life, and I'm not just going to forget it because you think I should stop talking about it. Because when it was happening to me, you don't even know what was going on in my life at that time. So I think that's the problem. We tend to do one of these things just to all right, let's just act like it didn't happen. Let's just move on with our lives. But when it was happening, somebody could have hung themselves.
It could have been at your most vulnerable time in your life. Nobody really knows the other person's going. We're all going through something,
right?
You know, so it's so important to be nice, be kind.
And so you have to take the power back. I think you take the power back. You hold it up in front of people and say, "Oh, here's what happened actually, and here's the truth." Oh, we don't want to talk about the truth. Well, this is the truth. We were very fine with talking about a lie or what we thought it was, and we were so excited, like, oh my gosh, did you know? Look at this, and we're sharing it. So we're sending it on and sending it on and sending it on, and it's propaganda.
Exactly. That's what it is. And Mariah's picture was being tagged to to an article that just had nothing to do. Yes, she's our Miss Cayman, but it's not our Miss Cayman.
Right.
So don't put her face out there as on the front line, so to speak.
Exactly.
When
exactly, because I mean, because then the ball just keeps rolling,
right?
And it's getting bigger like a snowball, and your picture's along with it. So it's no longer what's really in a video. Now it's the picture that we know. We know that person, so now we can connect it to that, and that's the devastating part. And like you said, you get people who don't even know you who are now thinking that they can write you and speak to you and tell you something, judge you, or whatever it is, I know
we had a photo shoot of Mariah probably sometime last year. We tend to use really nice locations like the Ritz and other hotels, and there was this balcony of her there, and people were like, that balcony is very familiar to what this and that.
Must have been that day. They put a whole story together.
It was just really, I was like wowed by it.
Yeah, of course. And so were you able to address the people that kind of came at you? Did you choose to address it, to write them back or anything, or you just left it alone?
I actually was not able to address them at that point. It was an open police investigation, and a lot of people didn't realize that. They just thought we could say anything that we wanted, but I actually couldn't respond to it because of the police situation. And personally, even if the police weren't involved, I probably wouldn't have responded. Because I feel like that just eggs them on. It gives them makes them want to continue the conversation and say more and all this stuff. So I don't know what I would have done in that situation, but for now, I have not responded to any of them, and anyone who continues to write or anything, I still don't respond to it, even though the investigation is closed at this point. But I don't know if the committee responded personally to any of them, but the committee and the police both did make a public official statement, and those were the last kind
And
of
that was
final
basically it.
words.
Yeah.
Were you able to get any apologies, like personal apologies? Because I know people are reaching out and telling you off or doing whatever, but were you able to get the same? Because sometimes it's less, right? The silence is louder
Yes.
than the noise, right? When it comes to just almost like redemption or whatever. Were you able to get feel like your name was cleared? The people that might have said negative action said no, absolutely not. We apologize.
No one actually came to me personally, I will say that, but there bullying her, things like that. And that was really heartwarming. I'm very, very grateful. And for those people, I did reach out to them and I said, thank you so much. I'm not able to respond legally, but I just want you to know I really appreciate this.
Right.
So I responded to the positive and I didn't give any attention to the negative.
Yeah.
But Mr. Hammer himself, Omri Hammer, he actually issued an apology to Mariah and to us, the committee, for making reference to Miss.
But he publicly did that. Did he privately reach out to you guys?
No.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not hard to find you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because I think in a situation like that, that would have been just the gentleman or gracious thing to do, to just say, listen, I don't know how this happened, how I got, your representative caught up in this. I am so sorry. Like that would have been nothing. That would have been no skin off anybody's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially knowing what a big thing it turned out to be.
Yeah.
And the reason it turned out to be so big is not only because you are a Miss Cayman Islands universe, but because he is an actor in Hollywood that grew up in the Cayman Islands and calls Cayman his home. He's a Caymanian, right? Okay, so that's the reason it was that big. So I think definitely that would have been just the right thing to do.
That would have been Cayman kind to, we are very passionate and loving and forgiving people.
It wasn't fair, right?
Yes.
It's not fair to I don't know, for whatever reason something like this has happened. It wasn't fair on the committee. It wasn't fair on you personally. And so, but like you said, what it has done is it's allowed you to really understand what someone else might be going through in a situation like this. So sometimes, they ask God many times, Lord, I knew you didn't have to put me in the middle of this.
Yeah.
Can you just whisper it to me? Let me read it somewhere. I'm a reader. I'll read about it. It's like, no, apparently you had to learn this. So here you go, and who you emerge is a very different person. Now, we're going to take a break in a couple of minutes, but I want to come back and I want to continue the conversation with you, Mariah, because what I want to know is what you've learned, not only in this, but in this whole experience, everything. First runner-up, COVID, getting this title, this thing that's happened to you. Are you a very different girl than that girl that started out? And I know the answer to that, but I wanted to anywhere. And welcome back to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show, and this is Catherine Tyson, your host. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We are speaking to Miss Derry Dakers-Lee, the director and chairperson of the Miss Cayman Islands Universe Committee, as well as Miss Cayman Islands Universe herself, Mariah Tibbetts. We are in the studio, and we are just chatting about all things Miss Cayman Islands Universe. Mariah getting the crown, being first runner-up in 2019, and it just, coming to her, coming around to her, and as well as, the recent, just very disappointing story that was going around with Miss Cayman Islands Universe involved in it, and just kind of clearing that up. And before the break, I asked the question, I'm going to come back with that question. This young lady that's sitting before me now versus the one that was going into the pageant that I saw and spent some time with, how different is she, and what has this done for you? And I can ask Ms. Derry as well, the growth you've seen also, but let me ask Mariah first. What do you think? Is there anything different?
I think you already know the answer. Most people probably do. 100% different, completely different person. But I've experienced, obviously, going through it as a contestant, not winning the crown in the first try, then gaining the crown, being the title holder now. I've experienced it all pretty much, technically, if you want to put it like that. And I could write a book about everything that I learned, everything I went through. But I would say, to sum it all up, I've learned to win with humility and lose with grace. So when I didn't win the first round, you go into these pageants, you try your best, you put your best foot forward, and it is a bit disappointing. You've worked so hard for all these months, all these weeks, you've trained, you've sacrificed things, and it hurts in the moment. You're a little disappointed, but once you clear your head and get over those emotions, you feel those emotions, but then you eventually get over it. You look back and you think, wow, I still gained so much from this, and I'm sure Caitlin can attest to that, and you saw it yourself too. It's just a transformative period. That's all I can call it, is a transformative period.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you come in, you learn so much about yourself as well, just as a contestant, regardless of title holder or not. You learn so much about yourself. You gain new skills, you gain new friendships, new relationships with so many different people around the island. But then as first runner-up, I kind of still tried to hold myself to that same standard, because like you said, I was doing events. I did have responsibilities as the first runner-up. So I still kind of groomed myself as if I was a mini Miss Cayman, if you would say. And then as the title holder, that's even more transformative period. You learn so much more than that. And I'm really just trying to soak in as much as I can, because you have the opportunity to learn, and it's yours to take. You know what I mean? If someone is the title holder and they don't want to take those opportunities, they don't want to learn, then they won't. But I'm trying to take everything that comes to me so that I can come out of this an even different person. So in the last 2 years, people will have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Mariahs.
Right.
And each time it gets better, it gets better with as much as you learn. And I definitely will say I'm much stronger. I've learned how much I can actually handle. Before I went into this pageant, I remember thinking, wow, these girls are so busy. How do they do it? And then, you have a full-time job, and you have families, and you have everything else. And then you come out on the other end and you say, wow, I did that. I did all of that. That was me. I learned how to do it, and I just put my head to it in the moment. So it's a big growth period for any and everyone. Any kind of relationship or involvement you have with the pageant, it forces you to grow. You don't have a choice. It forces you.
Exactly. I mean, I was painting Caitlin's toenails like she's going to an event. I was like, hang on a second, just wait, I'll just take care of this for you.
And you don't realize until you have that first-hand experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Even when she had decided to enter, it's been a conversation that we've had for many years, and then finally when she decided, and I think the committee had reached out to her, and it was like, what do you think about this? And so when she got it, she's like, I'm just gonna go for the fun. I was like, you ain't going for no fun. You're going to win, because I'm very competitive, and I'm gonna do it or not, And so she's like, oh, give me a break, Mom. I was like, you ain't got no break until this is over.
And she worked hard. I mean,
she worked hard.
She was exemplary in her reign.
She did. Yeah,
so she did a really good job.
We worked very hard just up to the when it could be kind of handed over to the committee and just say, okay, now here you guys take care of it. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of work for yourself as well. Just thinking for yourself and connecting yourself to certain things and knowing what you want to represent and stuff like that. And that's just really good. And that's why that girl has to be all around.
Right. Exactly.
And that's what some people don't understand. They come to the pageants or they see the photos and they think that should be the winner because she's pretty or because of this. Listen, it's not even just about
a beautiful face.
Because women in Cayman are gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Like forget about it. Amazing bodies. Like forget it. But it's like just that well balanced person. That person that kind of can
juggle everything because it's a lot to juggle
and not
you
drop
saw that.
Any of the things.
You saw that
exactly.
with Caitlin.
Yeah, being able to, speak to anyone in the room, being able to change and get out there again, and even when you're tired. So absolutely.
And I have seen that transformation in Mariah. I mean, she's always had that, from the first time I met Mariah, she had that enthusiasm, that zest, and that hunger for the crown. And I did see also the night when she didn't win, she accepted that gracefully, and whenever we called on her, she was there wholeheartedly. She was just on point with everything. And so with everything that happened, I guess with COVID and as you mentioned the recent fiasco with the video and everything, and I think she has grown tremendously. I can see a huge transformation. We're preparing her for Miss Universe, and in saying that, we have Salida Ebanks, our very own Salida Ebanks, that will be, and Caitlin Tyson as well, our former Miss Cayman Islands Universe 2018, will be training her here locally to prepare her for the pageant. We don't have, we've got some tentative dates for either April or May of this year for Miss Universe, but we're going to be some steps ahead in actually preparing that process for her to just grace the world stage.
Absolutely. And that's an experience because I went to Thailand, so that was
great, huh?
Something else.
That was really
oh
nice.
My goodness. I mean, and just what those girls go through. I mean, it's just, they are incredible. So you're in good company.
A lot of early mornings and late nights and just on the go. So, and I'm, she's used to that already. Since September that she was crowned. I think that she has done at least between appearances like on the radio and just events and everything, maybe about 60.
And are you still working full time?
Not right now. I was up until a couple weeks ago.
Well, good. Yeah. No, definitely, because it's a full-time job.
So we're going to focus on training.
And that's why DOT offers that. We're so grateful for that. DOT offers that year employment.
So have you taken a time off from your actual job that you will go back to? And what is that? Tell us give us a little bit about your background, because she's not just beautiful, she's brilliant.
So I am an audit manager at a big
company. Audit manager, okay?
So between the time I was in the pageant as a contestant, first runner-up, and now Miss Universe, there's been a promotion and everything else during that time.
Well, because you should walk in like, you know who I am? I'm just kidding.
So I'm a certified professional accountant. I have my designation. I have 4 university degrees. So I have an Associate of Arts in Accounting from right here at the University College of the Cayman Islands. And I have a Bachelor's of Managerial Science, a Bachelor's of Accounting, and a Master's of Professional Accountancy from Georgia State University.
Hear this girl. Can
y'all hear this girl? So there's some brains in there somewhere.
Oh no, it's covered with makeup right now, but you're brilliant. Okay,
thank you.
That's good. Good stuff. And
so she can hold her own.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, no, she's just a great talker. She's very smart. You know that. So absolutely. And I've just seen the growth. So I'm very, very just excited. And, I'm proud of the representation that we have in Cayman with Miss Cayman Islands Universe, committee, just what you all stand for. I think it's amazing. It's not just about girls in bathing suits.
Right.
It's beauty and brains. It's everything and soul. Just
because I think even the Miss Universe organization look for a spokesperson.
Yeah.
Basically,
absolutely.
I mean, they're looking for brains. For somebody that's intellectual.
Yeah.
Not just beautiful. And these days it really don't have a lot to do with height either,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
so they're looking for that spokesperson that's well rounded as well. And I think that that's what we try our best to prepare our title holders to be as well.
Absolutely. So where might it be this year? Have you heard anything?
In the U.S.
Okay. So it
which
will
is
be in the
probably
US.
like at its worst right now.
Right.
So we just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think everybody's still wearing masks over there.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I have family in the U.S. and they're still like
Yeah.
everywhere they go. And I think it was was made mandatory like a couple of weeks ago or something. We heard about
Yeah,
that.
and I think you also have to quarantine as well.
Yeah, I've heard
if
the
I'm not mistaken.
quarantine.
Yeah.
I
So
think,
they're
no,
changed.
somebody told me that they're suggesting that you self-isolate,
Oh,
but it's not a quarantine like what we're doing
Mhm.
here.
Mm.
So it's a suggestion. So because I
Okay.
think it's difficult to really, from all of
Right.
the ports of entry
Yeah.
to, they're not going to put
Track
like
that,
people
yeah.
on people trackers on people.
Yeah.
Like American people are not going to be having that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean it is something else. And so even through everything else that's made you grow, this particular thing that just happened to you, how do you think that kind of did that toughen you up a little bit? Did you think you were tough before?
To be honest, no. I'm a very sensitive person, and I don't have a problem admitting that. I'm very emotional. I'm very sensitive, and I think the pageant kind of gave me my first dose of toughening up because people are giving you all their opinions on you. You didn't ask for
They
it. It's
sure are.
unsolicited. Even if one hair is out of place, they're going to comment on it.
If you didn't know about it, you
Why
know
is she wearing
now.
those sandals?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's so many pageant blogs that you would never know about.
Well, that's why I was painting toes, because I'm like, they're gonna look at your toe
Yeah,
because
they're
you're
looking
gorgeous.
at your feet. They're looking at
Like,
your nose. They're looking at
Yeah.
your
It's funny.
arm,
Caitlin
everything.
would be coming out the door with a
Yes.
gown, like looking flawless, and I'd see that one toenail. I'm like, that's what they're gonna see.
Yeah, and
They
they'll
will
zoom in on it.
Oh yeah,
They're
zoom in
gonna
on
want
it.
to find something, you see,
Yeah,
because people want to find something
Absolutely.
wrong.
absolutely.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is sad, but
Yeah.
that's
But the
way
world
it
is
is.
the same, right?
Yeah.
The age of social media.
The age of social media. Exactly.
Exactly.
So that gave me my first kind of dose of toughening up. My parents always told me that I had thin skin before. I remember hearing it for
Oh,
the first
wow.
time when I was in elementary school, and I was like, what does thin skin mean? What does thick skin mean? And I didn't understand. But obviously, as I got older, I accepted that and I kind of leaned into it. I mean, I'm sensitive, and I think that's one of my strengths, not my weaknesses.
Right.
That's a whole different story. Anyway, so the pageant gave me my first dose of that. Like, okay, Mariah, people are going to give their opinion. You need to just move on with your
Toughen
life.
up.
Don't even
Yeah.
think about it. It matters what you think of yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And then this situation toughened it up even more. I really thought I was going to freak out, break down, just be so emotional over it. And with the support system I had and them kind of constantly reminding me who I am, what I stand for, and me just taking that time to actually sit with myself and think about it, think about myself, and mentally become stronger. It definitely, like you said, it was hard, but I think I grew from it. I think I got stronger from it. And I think I came out on the other end a better person and with a vision moving forward. So people try to give you stuff or point stuff in your direction to break you, but if you're the type of person to turn it around, then it actually makes you stronger in the end.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, and then you just have to look at all of your achievements. You just have
Yeah.
to look at all the things that you've done.
Right.
That no one did that.
Yeah.
You did it.
Look how
And-
far we've come.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like, listen, I did all this
Yeah.
stuff. So that little thing you're trying to swat me
Yeah.
down with, you go sit down with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, because you
And it will
clearly
eat them
have
up
nothing else to
inside that
do.
they haven't actually, achieved what they set out
Exactly.
to do. So
Exactly.
we just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
We just keep pressing through,
Exactly.
pushing through, and
Don't even see them.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
look at it. Because
Yeah.
if you
Yes.
focus on other people and not focus on yourself, you're
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
the person tripping up.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And it's your life. And
Yeah.
everybody should be focusing on their own life. And if I can't help you build yours, let me just leave you
Yeah.
alone.
Yes.
Right? And we need to get closer
we
to
need
that.
to get that mindset.
In
More of that
Cayman,
mindset
we
here.
have to, especially with so many different nationalities in our midst right now.
Mhm.
We find that they're kind of finding each other and
Mhm.
becoming, solid with each other. There are churches that I found out there's like a Zimbabwean whole ministry going on here.
Oh,
All the
wow.
people from Zimbabwe know each other. There's like a coalition. They're able to help each other with resources.
Right.
The Filipinos kind of have the same thing. Why are we not doing that?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
very
we need to solidify our
disappointing.
union.
Absolutely.
And just, we talk about Caymankind, so we have to enforce that, daily.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
not just in the classroom.
Yeah, and
You know.
hold each other up, right?
Right.
Hold each other up
Right.
and rally around each other for sure. But we have to each do it individually, and so not wait for everybody else to do it. I'm
Yeah.
going to do it, you do
Yes.
it, and just keep it moving.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
for sure. So what's next? What are some of the things? So what are some of the things that you've done already? Some of the appearances.
Gosh, I should have
Uh-huh.
brought my list with me.
Just
There's
whatever
so
you
many.
remember.
Like I said, the Cayman Islands Cancer Society is my platform for the year, and I've been trying to do as many events with them as I can. They just had their big Stride for Cancer. I was there helping them out for that. Also, the Walk for the Cure was one of my first events that I did back in October. And I've done a lot of things with Meals on Wheels as well.
And you went to the gala. They had a gala, right? Did they have the
Meals
cancer?
on Wheels.
No,
Yeah.
the cancer gala. Did they
yes.
have that?
Oh, the breast
breast
cancer
cancer.
gala.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I went
Yeah.
to that. You're right.
And who spoke? Salita
Salita
spoke
spoke at that. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So I've done a lot of those, a lot of 5Ks. I used to walk a lot of 5Ks, so now I'm there doing raffles.
Are you very athletic as well?
I am very athletic. I wouldn't say I'm an athlete, but I go to the gym very often.
Right.
I really enjoy it. Like, I don't just go because I'm Miss Cayman. I've been doing this for years.
Right, right.
So I've done stuff with Proud of Them, which was really special to me as well. Because,
You were one of the
Yes,
pros. I just found out.
exactly.
I looked back at the
You're right.
I think you were one of the first ones.
Yeah, one of the first couple of
So
years.
that's another
Yep.
I
achievement.
think so.
Yep.
I think yeah. When
I think she
saw
was
it.
there with my son. My son was as well,
Mhm.
David Lee.
Okay.
And I think he was actually in that group. with
Right,
you.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I
looked
yeah.
back
So
because
I
I've
went
been
there.
interviewing the new ones.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice.
So she has
Okay.
some
Yeah.
achievements from way back, as you can
Absolutely.
see.
Yes.
And
Yeah. So I helped this year. I actually was on the selection committee, so that kind of came full circle, and that was really heartwarming for me. And I've gone to a few of the schools to do some talks to the high school students, which I love talking to students all the time. They're
Very
just so
nice.
impressionable, and I just feel like I remember being in their shoes.
And they love it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They love the
oh
crown.
my God, the
Yeah.
crowd. So we're going to get there, but I guess I'm fast forward in a bit. But we're actually going to the BRAC.
Okay.
We're taking her to the BRAC. We do that annually,
Nice.
and
So this year it's going to be special because my family is
Yes.
from Cayman Brac.
Wow.
Yes.
So
And I
they'll be
and I
proud
know
of
that
you.
every year we take the kids to the primary schools. They look at her at the crowd. I remember the year that we took Anika. They asked her, "So you're a princess? Do you live in a
Aw.
castle?"
Oh,
So they
sweet.
just like have all these questions, and they're so mesmerized by the crowd.
Right.
So
Love it.
that's going to be
Okay.
interesting.
And the Tibbets. So
Yes, exactly.
That's really nice. And you get to go away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we can still travel. at
Everybody's
least
going
in
to the
between.
brag. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going away.
So we leave on the 3rd of March until the 7th. We're going to be
Okay.
covering like all the schools over there. We're going to visit district admin building. She's going to do an island tour, a live tour as well,
Mhm.
photo shoot. We're visiting the church.
That's nice.
We're going to have a dinner barbecue party, actually,
Nice.
what it is,
Okay.
on the Friday night of the 5th, if I'm not mistaken, at the Alexander Hotel.
Okay.
And on the 6th, we're off to a farm to table at Le Solidor.
Okay.
And we're going to do yoga. All the committee, we have 10 committee members.
They're all
include-
going.
Everyone is going.
I know.
So it's
You
going to be a
couldn't
retreat.
find,
We
you
need
mightn't
it.
have been able to find them before, but they
Yeah.
heard about the BRAC trip. COVID. They're
Everyone
like,
is
we're
down
coming.
to go to the BRAC. So we're off to the BRAC in March.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes.
So that's going to be quite exciting. So that's
Right.
one of the next big things coming
Yep.
up then.
Yep.
So in the meantime, I guess you'll relax a little bit.
Oh, I
Well, she
wish.
has training.
Yeah,
She has
training starts next week actually
Okay.
with Salita. So it'll be full throttle until March, and then we go to the BRAC, and then we'll come back and more training hopefully,
Okay.
and it'll just be go 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 from here pretty much.
All right. Nice. Where will you be training then?
Hopefully, Miss Derry can answer.
Well, with Salita, I think
Yeah.
she has no set location. It's
Okay.
various locations. She's sourcing
Okay.
a lot of,
Oh, okay. So she'll be
stuff
doing
for
that.
us. So, and then we were trying to send her off to Jamaica. As you know, we always, provide some international
Yeah.
training, but with COVID and everything, maybe that's off the table right now. But what we were planning to do is actually send her to Jamaica to the Miss Universe directors over there,
Okay.
and Miss Universe, directors, and Luciera, which is one of the main pageant coaches there within
Well,
the
we
Miss
went to New York
Universe
too,
organization.
Luciera. So
Absolutely.
Caitlin, yeah, I
So
took
she
Caitlin
was
over there.
actually set to come to Jamaica to do some training, not just for Mariah, but also the other title holders
Oh, nice.
across the Caribbean. So we're hoping that still happens. We
Yeah.
just have to wait it out and see as everything is
So
still
she-
so certain.
Okay, so she was
Yeah.
going to go to Jamaica to do
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's great. So, all right, so that's just kind of what's in the balance for Miss Universe. So you're kind of everything's up in the air a little bit,
Mhm.
waiting for them to give the date or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, tentatively, as I said, it's April, May,
Yeah,
but everything is it's changing every day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Countries are getting locked down, and
Yeah, of
the
course.
situation is getting a bit
Yeah,
worse.
yeah.
As
I tell you,
pessimistic as that sounds,
just
but there are other
waiting.
variants out there, so we just have to.
It's gonna get better.
Yes.
It's gonna get better. We have to will
Yes.
it. It's gonna get
Yes.
better.
Yes.
So that's it. I guess prayer, right,
Mhm.
and just putting the good
Yeah.
vibes out there.
So we're hoping to have a pageant this year,
Yeah.
either in September or October.
Okay.
But
So
first, we've got to get Mariah off to Miss Universe.
Okay, right. So that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So you said you're hoping to have a pageant. Are you not thinking you might not have a pageant, or are you definitely going to have a pageant this
Well,
year?
it depends on whether or not there will be a Miss Universe. This year, we want to give her that opportunity to represent us,
Right.
At Miss Universe, and they've come with a tentative date now, so I'm thinking that may get pushed back a bit. So
Okay.
we'll see.
So if it gets pushed
Yeah.
back, are you kind of holding
Then
on?
we'll hold off a bit.
Okay.
But
okay.
that's kind of what we're looking at in the
Okay.
event there is a pageant.
All right. So you're definitely on that Miss Universe list, Mariah. You're not getting out of that.
She's
Yes,
already begun
ma'am.
sending her information. You know how they
Yeah.
request all this information, so that process has already started.
Which
you
is
know, for her
good.
to-
Which is
Yeah,
good. So
exciting.
yeah, it
Yes.
is exciting.
It really is.
It's an amazing experience. And if you thought you had grown already, just wait
Oh,
until
yeah.
you are competing with 90-something
Oh yeah.
other people from other countries.
Yep.
That's something else.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I mean, all of it is just, it's all gravy. It all sounds like all blessings, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure your family is on board. They're supporting you. Yeah, you got your mom working.
Oh yeah, I feel like I need to pay them at this point. My poor sister, shout out to her. Today's her birthday, actually.
Oh,
If she's
happy
listening,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Okay.
Every picture you see of me on social media, I just should tag her at this point because she's like my personal photographer,
Oh, wow.
my personal
She's going to the
makeup
bracket as
checker.
well.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, she
Yeah.
has to come to
Well,
the
she
bracket.
has to.
Yeah,
She's
at
the
this point.
photographer.
At this point, I just have a team, security guard and everything. So
She's your personal assistant.
yes. And like you said, back to blessings, everything just worked out. It was such a blessing because she was actually away at school. This is the first year in maybe 5 or 6 years that all of my family members have been on island at the same time. And I just said, look at God. He just wants us all to be Miss
Yeah.
Universe.
You know what? Look at God. Look
So,
at God.
My family
Yeah.
has definitely been a big, big, big help. I could not do this without them for
Well,
sure.
I think when you got crowned, like there was like 500 people that were your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes.
remember that was
Yeah, that
Yeah.
whole table.
quite a
Yeah.
Yeah.
tag.
We're a very
Yeah.
close-knit family for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And that's good. It shows that.
And
Lots
what do you
of
have?
love.
Is it four?
Four siblings, 3 sisters, 1 brother.
I know that one boy. That
Oh yeah,
Marsha
and then I
was
have a
trying
little
to have.
nephew. He's going around telling all his friends that his aunt is Miss K Man. So
It's very exciting.
It is. It really is.
It's very exciting. For people to know. Well, that's your family,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and when you go to their school, that's even better.
Oh yeah, I made the mistake of telling him, "Hey, do you want me to come read to you and your friends?" So now every day he says, "Are you coming tomorrow? Are you coming tomorrow? Are you coming tomorrow?"
Where does he
Yeah.
go to school?
He's in a preschool right now. So
Okay. Well, you have
discovery
to put him on the list.
kids.
You have to put him on the
Yes,
list.
exactly.
Very nice. So if you could have one wish, what would it be?
Ooh. To be Miss Universe?
Yeah. Oh, you think you're busy? Wait.
Oh yeah. That would just be such a
Alright.
great honor, I think, to
Wow.
have our island place. I mean, that would just be amazing.
But
It would be.
see where she went. She said, Miss Universe.
Oh yeah,
not just
absolutely.
win
place.
it all.
Go all the way,
She
and
has
then
high aspirations, and that's
you-
exactly
you
what.
land on. They say you
what
shoot
where
for the
they should
moon,
be.
land on the stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome. What about you, Miss Daring? What would be that one wish for you?
Well,
If you
for the
had a
committee itself, I guess for us to actually have a young lady that actually plays in the Miss Universe pageant, that would be our ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Every year we work so hard, and you have to have a passion for community service to actually be a part of this committee. It's not just, it is a prestigious committee, but it involves a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and I'm so grateful for the committee members that are instrumental on the team as well. So that's basically our ultimate goal, and obviously here locally for them to become role models in the community here.
Absolutely. I think it's really grown over the years as well.
Yes.
I think there was a time when there might have been a lull,
Yes.
But it's really taken almost like some more wheels, and it's going. I think because of the caliber of young women that you've
Yes.
had,
Yes.
that people can really, they can touch and feel them. They can relate to
Yeah.
them. They're very real.
And if you
right?
look back at all the past title holders, they have, become lawyers or some entrepreneur in the
Done
community or accountants, like, obviously
Yeah.
Mariah.
Done
She
well.
has her
Very
CPA.
educated women.
Yes, extremely educated women
Yes.
that have paved the way forward.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
that is
No.
the type of young ladies that we are, churning out here in this organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone who has entered the pageant, I've found that they themselves also
Absolutely.
have been elevated
Oh, yeah.
since that experience.
Definitely, yeah.
I talked to quite a few of them that were in the pageant with Caitlin, and they're doing well, and they're just so positive, and it's done so much for them. It was just a great experience.
Yeah, it takes them to a
overall.
whole other level,
Yeah.
which is what we
Yeah.
desire, and
a whole other
Yes.
level of believing in yourself.
yeah,
And knowing
being
like
comfortable
this is
with who
me.
you are
Yeah.
and comfortable in your own skin, and we've created even job opportunities for some of these young ladies that have decided to enter the pageant, and they've gone on to move mountains, so to speak.
Yeah, and toughening them up as well,
Yes.
because in life, for to be successful, you have to toughen up.
Oh yeah.
And when
you have a lot being thrown your way and hurled at you. You have
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely. And when you're from a small place, you
Yes.
tend to think a lot about what people think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you got to get out of that.
Yeah.
You really have to. You got to shed that skin
Yes.
and say, listen, I'm glad if you like me. That's nice. I'm going to be the best person I can be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be as kind and good as I can. But at the end of the day, I can't be focused on your opinion.
No, and everybody has an opinion.
Exactly.
So sometimes you'll be crippled to even move.
Exactly.
If you listen to everyone's opinions and what you can't and can't do. So
Yeah.
we're all about what we can do.
Right.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
It just goes back to the motivational tip you gave at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you can't say anything good, just hush.
Yeah,
If you can't say anything good about someone, just stop it.
That's a good
You can't
one.
help, just hush. Just hush. Just stop it.
And getting back to what we talking about what we can do, and one of my favorite scriptures, and I say it every year at the pageant, is that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And I think that's how we have to, that's how I try to move the committee forward, and
Absolutely.
goals
Yeah.
forward as well.
So, advice to one young lady who might be thinking about this, what would you tell her?
About entering the pageant or
Yeah.
being Miss Cayman.
Yep.
Just go for it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't think about it, because just like you said, Caitlin was toying with the idea for a couple of years. I think that's how a lot of girls get. 1 year you're thinking about it, you don't enter. The next year, maybe I should. You don't enter. The next year, maybe I should. And I did the same thing. I was toying with the idea for a long time, but just jump in. Don't dip your toes in the water. Just
Right.
jump in, because whatever happens, whatever the outcome is, like we just talked about, you're going to grow from it. You're going to get something from it, and just go in with the idea of making yourself a better person, obviously putting your best foot forward, trying as hard as you can, but it's an experience that you will never regret.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I think just the experience alone, it just allows you to just grow to another level.
Yeah.
It just
Absolutely.
takes you to another level.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I am definitely, I'll call myself a pageant mom
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
I thank you guys so much for joining me this afternoon. The lovely Mariah Tibbetts, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And
so
we are
much.
here rooting for you, and we're praying and hoping that Miss Universe kind of gets their stuff sorted, so that you will be able to represent us.
Yes.
We're looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Ms. Derry, also for
Thank
everything
you.
that you do for that committee, because it's a job. It's
Oh,
a
it is.
100%
It really
blood, sweat, and tears.
Absolutely.
And all these
Thank
girls
you.
are your
Yes.
babies. I know
Yes.
that. And also to your committee. Have fun in the BRAC.
Thank you.
And enjoy yourself. You deserve it. And see, I know you're not going to get 1 minute
Oh
of
yeah,
rest,
not me.
right? You'll be just around with that crown. But take care of yourself. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining me this afternoon, and thank you all for tuning in to Straight Talk Drive at 5. This was our Wellness Wednesday, and I hope that you guys feel better just by hearing the stories from Miss Mariah Tibbetts, Miss Cayman Islands Universe, and continue to support her and support each other, and know that that's all we're here to do. And thank you so much for supporting the Straight Talk Drive at 5 show as well. And I will end it on this one. If you can't say nothing good, that's hush. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Have a great afternoon.
Love it. Love it. I want to get a picture.